This module focuses on WELS Teaching Standard 8 assessment. Christian teachers know how to assess student progress. Our focus question for this module is, how can teachers use formative assessments to evaluate and promote the spiritual, intellectual, social, emotional, and physical development of learners? Please pause after you hear this so that you can share with an elbow partner your understanding of formal, informal, and formative assessments, and also give an example of an assessment you use in your classroom. Pause the video now and share with your elbow partner. Then begin the video again. You probably included things like formal and informal processes teachers and students use to gather evidence for the purpose of improving learning. In particular, formative assessment, which is our focus, occurs during the flow of instruction rather than at some point after instruction. The first video I'd like you to watch is by Dylan Wiliam. He is the author, or one of the authors, of the two articles you read prior to this in-service, Inside the Black Box and Working Inside the Black Box. As you listen to the video, think about ideas that you hear or see that connect to the articles you already read. Share with your elbow partner and then share your responses with the entire group. Pause the video, and then after you have shared your responses, begin watching again. The second video I'd like you to watch is called Embedded Formative Assessment. Dylan Wiliam again will explain what embedded formative assessment is, and I'd like you to focus on one or two key ideas you want to remember from the video. Share your responses with the entire group after you have shared with your elbow partner. Pause the video, and then when you have shared your responses, begin again. The third video that I would like you to watch is, again, by Dylan Wiliam, called Content Then Process. It focuses on the role of the teacher and how best you can think about how you want to use formative assessments. Again, I'd like you to focus on one or two key ideas you want to remember from the video, and then share your responses with your elbow partner and then the entire group. Pause. And then when you have shared your responses, watch again. Now you have some background with the articles and your own background information about assessment. We're going to look at the WELS Standard 8 description of the targets for teachers as they are using assessments. Look, we are going to focus particularly on the blue targets. The first one uses a variety of formal and informal assessment techniques to enhance his or her knowledge of learners, evaluates students' progress and performance, and modifies teaching and learning strategies. Then we're going to jump to the second page of the standards. Continuously evaluates the effect of class instruction on both individuals and the class as a whole, monitors teaching strategies in relation to student success, modifying plans and instructional approaches accordingly, evaluates and modifies assessment processes to ensure alignment with instructional objectives. As we're thinking about those, I want you to think how you as a teacher are using assessments in your classroom. Now we'll look at those targets again, 1, 4, 5, and 6, in relation to this focus question. What level would you say the teacher is reflecting in the video segment you will watch after we talk about the standards? And what specific words and its descriptors apply to the levels you chose? Get out your copy of the WELS Standard Continuum and look at Standard 8. If we look at the Standard 8, the first uses a variety of formal and informal assessment techniques. I want you to focus on the levels from beginning to innovating. At the beginning level of implementation, teachers are required, that's a key word in there, required, to use formal and informal assessment techniques. As you go across to emerging and applying, you'll see that it goes from teachers being required to teachers actually using, and then in integrating, selecting a variety, and finally the innovating is embedding and sharing with others. If you look at the second one, continuously evaluates the effect of class instruction on individuals and the class as a whole. Again, the beginning level starts with the requirement to do it, while as it goes across the continuum, the intensity and intentionality increases so that it becomes more embedded in the planning process and also is shared with the students and other people in the school. Moving to monitors teaching strategies in relation to student success, modifying plans and instructional approaches accordingly. Again, at the beginning, you will see teachers described as may alter their plans. As you go across, you'll see more characteristics such as using several strategies at the applying level, more intention in the integrating level, and in the innovating level, you will see the background, the flexibility, and the modification of lessons that are redesigned to meet learner needs. And the last one, evaluates and modifies assessment processes to ensure alignment with instructional objectives. Again, at the beginning, it will start with something like recognize, some techniques. Going across, there's much more application of using the objectives and making a specific match from assessment to the objective. And at higher levels, the embedding and requiring more and more intentionality and planning so that the lessons will flow smoothly. As you watch the short video selection of a teacher reflecting on primary formative assessment, think about the standards and the continuum, where you think this teacher in her reflection and what you can see, what level you think she would be in according to the continuum. Video 4, the formative classroom in the primary classroom, is the one you're going to watch now. Discuss with your elbow partner when the video is finished. On your sheet, you can write some notes as you're watching it. Write some of the key words or characteristics where you see the uses of formal, variety of formal and informal, continuously monitors strategy, evaluates and modifies. Then you will share your responses with the entire group. Stop the video and watch the formative assessment video. This module focused on the WELS Teaching Standard 8. Christian teachers know how to assess student progress. We were in particular trying to look for uses of formative assessments to promote the spiritual, intellectual, social, and emotional and physical development of learners. Hopefully you have some ideas of how you might implement a formative strategy or alter a strategy you are already using to make it more student involved and give more ownership to students. So you should pause now and reflect and share with your elbow partner and then the group One way that you might use assessment strategies to improve the assessment in your classroom. Available to you are Moodle forum responses. The first response said, as a faculty, you might be planning to implement formative assessments in response to this study of the WELS Teaching Standard 8. You can submit strategies by your faculty member to share with others who might be entering the Moodle platform. Have one person on your faculty submit strategies that your faculty may be using or implementing. The second one is that you're going to share your faculty's response to the quote, now that we have finished the WELS Teaching Standard 8. And the quote is, "The real voyage of discovery consists not in seeking new landscapes, but in having new eyes." What does that mean in terms of your assessment and how you're going to use assessment to make learning more accessible and more student involved? For further discussion, you can download and read the article that Dylan Wiliam referred to in one of the videos you watched, where he talked about there are 5 key strategies for effective formative assessment. You can download this and talk about those 5 key strategies and as a faculty, how you are implementing them. And then I have a list of resources for formative assessment. These are all books that have many ideas to enhance your use of formative assessments. And I will encourage you that formative assessments are not really considered formative unless the feedback and the information that you give through these assessments is used by the learner to improve learning.